Welcome to SecretLens History. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting stories from the past. In this 1970 photo, a young Donald Trump stands beside his father, Fred Trump, in New York City. Long before the towers or the politics, this was the beginning of a family empire that would reshape American real estate and later American history. A chilling photo showing one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims giving a massage to former President Bill Clinton. It's a haunting reminder of how power, influence, and scandal often meet behind closed doors. President Bill Clinton and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat opening Gaza International Airport in Rafah, 1999. For a brief moment, hope filled the air, a handshake meant to symbolize peace that sadly never fully arrived. This is the only known photograph of an African-American Union soldier with his family around 1864. It's a rare glimpse into love and resilience during a war that decided freedom itself. Adolf Eichmann walks in the yard of his cell at Ramla Prison, Israel, 1961. Just a few months later, the man responsible for organizing the Holocaust would be tried, convicted, and executed for his crimes. The robe and axe of Giovanni Bugatti, the papal executioner from 1796 to 1864. Over his long career, he carried out 514 executions, serving justice in the name of the Vatican. A rare 1929 photo of a Jewish woman from the B'nai Qurath tribe in what is now Saudi Arabia. Her traditional dress and face covering capture a nearly lost piece of Middle Eastern Jewish history. A Rhodesian soldier takes a smoke break during the Bush War of the 1970s. The sneakers on his feet, instead of boots, show how even soldiers adapted to the harsh terrain and scarcity of resources. This haunting image shows a woman and her child falling from a fire escape after a blaze. The mother died on impact, but her body cushioned the fall, saving her 2-year-old's life. In the early 1930s, Hoovervilles spread across America, makeshift shantytowns where families who had lost everything to the Great Depression struggled to survive, one step away from homelessness. In 1967, the USS Liberty suffered catastrophic damage after being mistakenly attacked by Israeli forces during the Six-Day War. 34 Americans were killed in what remains one of the most controversial incidents in U.S. naval history. Lonnie Johnson, inventor of the Super Soaker, photographed in 1992. A NASA engineer turned toy creator, his invention became one of the most successful toys of all time. Princess Grace of Monaco visiting President John F. Kennedy at the White House, 1961. The meeting of two icons, royalty and American charm, captured in a single elegant moment. Anne Frank with her sister Margot at the beach in Zandvoort, Netherlands, 1940. Just a year later, their carefree smiles would be replaced by the horrors of hiding and persecution. A former prisoner in 1945 Germany points out the camp's most brutal guard. It's a powerful moment of justice and a reminder that memory can be sharper than any weapon. In 1991, Princess Diana shook the hand of an AIDS patient without gloves. At a time when fear and stigma ruled, her simple gesture changed global perceptions of compassion forever. A sailor's leave request from 1967 reads, "My wife is planning to get pregnant this weekend, and I would like to be present." Even in the strict world of the military, humor and humanity find a way to slip through. In June 1991, a trash bin in an East Berlin school overflowed with discarded communist textbooks. The fall of the Soviet Union didn't just end a system, it erased an entire ideology from classrooms overnight. A group of Southern rednecks proudly show support for Barack Obama's 2008 campaign, a rare and striking image of unity that defied stereotypes in a deeply divided America. Charles Manson's booking photo after the 1969 Tate LaBianca murders. Behind the smirk is a man whose cult of personality left a permanent scar on the counterculture of the 1960s. Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish with his Jewish girlfriend Tamar Ben-Ami. Their love inspired some of his most famous poems and became a human symbol of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, love defying borders, politics, and war. A chaotic scene from the Vietnam War, 1960s. Smoke, fear, and exhaustion mix in a generation-defining conflict that still echoes through history and memory. Soviet serial killer Andrei Chikatilo smiling from inside his cage during his 1992 trial. The bars weren't to confine him, but to protect him from enraged relatives of his victims. President William McKinley photographed moments before entering the exposition where he would be shot twice and fatally wounded. A peaceful afternoon that history would turn into tragedy. A sailor meeting his baby for the first time after 14 months at sea, 1940s. The smile says everything. War may separate families, but moments like this reunite hearts. Winston Churchill celebrates his 69th birthday alongside Franklin D. Roosevelt and Joseph Stalin. 3 men, 3 empires, and one uneasy alliance that changed the fate of the world. A rare and almost eerie photo of people enjoying a casual moment on September 11th, 2001, unaware that within hours, history would shatter everything they knew. In 1982, Susie Phipps Guillory sued the state of Louisiana to be recognized as white after learning her birth certificate listed her as colored. She lost the case, a reminder of how America's obsession with racial categories lingered well into modern times. The last public appearance of Chinese leader Mao Zedong, May 27, 1976. Frail but defiant, he stood before the people one final time before his death months later. The Last Jew in Vinnitsa, 1941. A haunting photograph that captures the final seconds of a man's life, moments before execution by Nazi forces, a stark testimony to the cruelty of genocide. Marzieh Ebrahimi lost an eye in an acid attack in Iran in 2014. Instead of breaking, she became a symbol of resistance, standing up to the regime and leading protests for women's rights. A French colonial soldier dragging 2 Algerian men in chains, a brutal image that exposes the dark legacy of French rule in North Africa. In just 4 years, Abraham Lincoln's face aged a decade. The Civil War and the weight of a divided nation left marks that no photograph could ever fully capture. An African-American soldier sits guard outside a former slave auction house in Atlanta, 1864. A powerful symbol, the same uniform that fought for freedom, now standing watch where freedom was once sold. On May 8, 1945, Algerians took to the streets celebrating the end of World War II and demanding independence. French colonial forces opened fire, killing tens of thousands. The Sétif massacres ended any illusion of peace and sparked Algeria's long fight for freedom. In 1995, 13-year-old Thad Phillips was kidnapped by a man nicknamed the Bone Breaker. Both his legs were shattered, but he escaped after 2 days and learned to walk again. His survival became one of the most shocking true crime stories of the decade. A young girl stands proudly at a May Day parade in Lviv, Ukraine, 1968. For her, it was a day of color and celebration, unaware of the Soviet control behind the banners and songs. The last public guillotining in France took place on June 17, 1939, in Versailles. Eugen Weidmann was executed for 6 murders, marking the end of a centuries-old tradition of public death. Lindy Chamberlain with her baby Azaria at Uluru, 1980. When her child vanished, she said a dingo had taken her, but no one believed her. Years later, new evidence proved she was telling the truth. Her story became one of the most infamous wrongful convictions in history. Nazi guard Jenny Wanda Barkman stands before a pile of victims' shoes at Stutthof concentration camp. Once called the Beautiful Spectre, she was later executed for her crimes against humanity. 7-year-old Lena Medina sits beside her 2-year-old son, Gerardo, in 1940. She remains the youngest confirmed mother in history, giving birth at just 5 years old, a case that still baffles doctors today. A group of women posing on Atlantic City's Chicken Bone Beach in the early 1960s, a segregated section where black visitors gathered to enjoy the shore despite racial barriers. In 1979, 16-year-old Brenda Ann Spencer opened fire at a school in San Diego, killing 2 people. When asked why, she simply said, "I don't like Mondays." The phrase became infamous, a chilling echo of senseless violence. Dance teacher Patsy Swayze with her son Patrick and his wife Lisa Nemi, 1978. The woman who trained countless dancers also shaped one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. A Palestinian woman with her child in the 1920s. Their eyes carried generations of endurance, long before conflict defined the land around them. Anne Frank and her sister Margot in 1940, 2 girls on the beach, unaware that their diaries and memories would one day move the world. Rosemary Kennedy, sister of JFK and RFK, was just 23 when a lobotomy left her permanently incapacitated. Once a lively young woman, her father's decision changed her life and her family's legacy forever. Born in 1846 in Tottington Mills, England, Samson, later called Mammoth, became the tallest horse ever recorded, standing 21.2 hands high and weighing over 3,300 pounds. Despite his massive size, he was gentle and calm, remembered as the true giant of the Shire breed. If you enjoyed exploring these incredible snapshots of history, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next adventure.